What's up, UA fam? Ashley here. And if you love this podcast and you actually find yourself re-listening to episodes and wanting more of Taryn and I, guess what? You should subscribe to our Supercast where we give you bonus content every single week. But not just basic episodes, we do interactive episodes like personalized AMAs where you can specifically ask Taryn how her dating life is going, and you can specifically ask me how it's been living with my boyfriend this past few months. We do solo episodes and even scary episodes because we know how much you guys love those scary stories. And our Supercast community has been growing exponentially, so don't miss out. Subscribe to Supercast now and join the fun.
Are you tired, Ash?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm here.
Okay, can we just say Ashley just went on an epic trip, which save that for your catch up because we need to know about it.
For sure.
But Mandy texted in our group text and was like, hey, just confirming we're recording tomorrow. And I look at Ashley's location and her location said Dubai. And I was like, there's no way. How's she going to be here?
What was she thinking?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you text me and you're like, I'm back. But because you were on an airplane, I was on an airplane recently. I thought I would start today's episode with a fun fact about airplanes.
Okay.
Did you know that pilots eat different meals?
What do you mean by different?
So the pilot and the co-pilot, they feed them completely different meals. So if something was tainted with one of them, only one of them gets sick and the other one can continue to fly.
That's smart.
The plane.
That's smart.
Literally brilliant.
It's so smart. I wouldn't have even thought of that, but that makes perfect sense.
No, makes so much sense.
Hey, you get this one, I get this one. Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Hopefully one of us doesn't die.
Oh my God, that's so smart. That's something I would not have thought of at all.
No, brilliant though. I want to know what food poisoning incident, the great food poisoning of 1997, that
something
they literally
caused something and some poor pilot had to fly through it. Was probably had his barf bucket on the side while he was
not the barf bucket.
What else would completely incapacitate you? You would have to be
coming out both ends.
Yeah, you would have to be a wreck, and still having to do that would be brutal. And
so
from then on out, they were like, you know what, put it in the paperwork, separate meals.
Yep,
we're not all getting food poisoning at the same time.
I don't know about you, but every time I see a random rule or something posted somewhere, I always go to
what happened?
Who did this? Who at B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings.
I was gonna say, for those that don't know.
We all call it B-Dubs, but Buffalo Wild Wings, they have their challenge for the super hot wings.
Yeah.
And the waiter has to give you a rundown of warnings, right?
Yeah.
They're
just so you
legal.
know, your stomach could hurt and you might
But
throw
one of
up.
them is, please do not go, especially for males, do not go to the bathroom and handle yourself without washing your hands first.
Right.
And so I asked the guy, I was like, so did this happen? And he was like, yeah, someone literally had to go to the hospital because they just went in and handled the goods.
Peed.
And they were on fire.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, that makes sense. Even you're supposed to be careful, touching your eyes. I've made guacamole
with jalapenos.
And have touched my face afterwards and regretted it. I couldn't imagine being a guy and going pee and holding it and just being
no.
Oh God.
It's happening.
Pure panic. Today's episode is brought to you by Paired. So, question, have you ever felt overwhelmed, exhausted, distant, disconnected from your partner? Maybe a need to reconnect in some kind of way, but maybe you're feeling overwhelmed on how to even start that? Well, let me tell you about this app that is changing the lives of couples everywhere. It's called Paired. It's an app for couples who want to strengthen their relationship. It was founded on the simple belief that real, lasting love is a daily practice, which I can get behind. And here's how it works. You and your partner download the app Pair together, and every day, Paired gives you personalized questions, quizzes, and games to stay connected, deepen your conversations, and have fun too. The best part is that you can't see your partner's answers until you answer them yourself. So it's a safe place to have an open and honest discussion about your relationship. No faking it, no pretending, just genuine connection, which I love. So whether you're just a few dates in or have been together for a long time, find the time to connect with your partner and nourish your relationship. Start strengthening your relationship in an easy, fun way. And guess what? It only takes 5 minutes a day. Head to paired.com/advice to get a 7-day free trial and 25% off if you sign up for a subscription. Just head to paired.com/advice to sign up today.
That's so funny. That's like should be in a sitcom or something like that.
No, it absolutely
like
should
that
be
feels
in a
like a New
sitcom.
Girl episode.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Winston and Nick like went and had wings and they both start panicking because they had to go to the bathroom.
And then they start crying and then they wipe their eye and then they're like,
and then they're like
it's just like the never
burning
ending.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Insanity.
Anyways, welcome to another episode of
Unsolicited Advice.
We are so happy that you're here with us.
We really are. I feel so comforted being here. Like every time I'm like, it's Monday. And even though it's a commute day for me, it's my only commute day.
Yeah.
I'm always just like, gonna go record. And I get up, I have my coffee, I immediately start getting ready. I have my little commute and I'm like listening to a podcast on the way there. And it's just one of my favorite days. I love being here.
I feel like you're still in the bubble of like delirium when you first get back from a trip. Like, I feel like it's going to hit you like later today or honestly later this episode.
I was
we'll
going to
see.
say at like 3:00, I feel like I'm going to hit a wall, but I slept so good last night. I got home last night and immediately got my favorite sandwich from Giada, the perfect Caesar wrap. And then I got a coffee
That's what I'm getting
and
for
I
lunch
made myself
today.
stay awake. And then I went for a walk and got some movement in to try to stay
Honestly,
awake.
proud of you.
Thank you. And I was very excited about that. My parents came and dropped off our dogs and I gave them their presents that I got them. And
What'd you get me?
Oh, I got you chocolate.
Wait, the chocolate?
The chocolate.
You did not have to get me anything,
did.
but oh my God. I can't
It's
wait.
so good.
I can't wait.
Got them chocolate as well.
I watched your vid.
It's the gift that I brought everyone.
Yeah, you have to.
But also it was so funny because I bought so much of it. Like me and Abigail and Alicia were all like, all right, this is the thing we're going to go crazy on. And it was really hard to get. You had to order an app. It was only available from 2 to 5.
So I don't know if this is a dumb question because I've seen so many TikToks where people are recreating it.
Yes.
Is it a specific brand that started all of this, or it's just specifically a Dubai specialty?
It's a Dubai specialty, but the brand that went viral is a specific brand.
Oh, and you got me that one?
I got you that one.
Gosh.
So I would make a video out of it.
Yeah,
I want to watch you eat it, but also I'm you should take it home and make a whole TikTok
video.
out of
Yeah.
it. But it's tahini and pistachio cream with this toasted, I'm probably going to say it wrong, but kefa or knefa. Knafeh, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's really crispy. And then the chocolate's obviously just great chocolate. And it's just really good. So anyways, we bought a ton of that. I'm not kidding. Between the three of us, $300 worth of chocolate. And then the next day, we loved it so much. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to get some for everyone, and that'll just be my souvenir gift. And everyone was like, yeah, okay. So we ordered more. And then we ran into subscribers and they sent some to our hotel for us. So we have so much.
Oh my gosh.
And here's the thing. It's supposed to stay refrigerated and be consumed within 3 days. So I'm we got to get rid of it. Everyone wants chocolate.
Meet me at my house.
So I'm it's fine after 3 days, in my opinion, but I'm we need to go through it quick. So that was so much fun. The trip was incredible. We had full on desert safari trip where we got to ride camels and hold falcons. Alicia was a total boss. She got invited by Forbes to talk about content creation. And when I tell you it was at the World Government's Summit.
That's nice.
Let that sink in. There were panels on economics, on finances for your government and politics and all of these crazy things, and this weird social media content panel that didn't make sense. The editor of Forbes sits down and is so it's official. social media marketing is the best form of marketing. Like, let's discuss like long-term, let's discuss like longevity, like let's discuss like your plan of attack, like how did you get here, like consistency, growing an audience. And it was really cool like hearing everyone speak up. Alicia spoke so eloquently and so boldly.
You know what? I feel like every single person has their like niche, like their area where they're so confident and passionate that they underestimate like how much they just like kill it.
Yeah.
Like you have areas, I have areas, like there's certain things where like you're like, oh, I'm not a public speaker. Like, oh, I like stutter over my words. I'm not eloquent. But then you get in those like zones and it's so cool to see just like that come out, pour out. Like, you know, in that moment, you're like, I'm meant to be like speaking on this.
Yeah.
You know?
Alicia had a panel that she was a part of. It was like a 4-person panel. But then there was this welcome like round table where everyone that was invited got to sit down and have a conversation with the editor. It was filmed, it was recorded, like everyone had microphones. And there were people there with like 15 million subscribers, 18 million subscribers, like huge followings. And
like all over the world.
Yeah, all over the world, cool. all different genres too. There were like car people, there were YouTubers, there were podcasters, there were, you know, just like social media influencers, TikTokers. And I was overwhelmed. I was like, these people have huge followings. Like, I can't believe I'm in this room. Like, Nara Smith was there, who turns out we ended up in a golf cart with her later. She grew up watching Alicia.
Why did
I was like, are you kidding me?
It's so wild because it's like every time I hear these stories, like Beyonce's daughter, like, oh, she grew up watching. I'm like, of course they did.
I moved and she ended up sitting next to Alicia on the golf cart. And Alicia was like, hi, like, I'm Alicia. And she goes, I know. And we were both like, what?
But okay, Ash, do you like, this is me. Every time Alicia has these moments where like Lana Del Rey, Blue Ivy, all these people that like are like, oh my God, I watched you. And I'm like, that's so good for you. But on the inside, I'm like, they watched me too.
I'm like,
I'm in those videos.
They know
who I am too.
Just like the thought, because Alicia told me the same thing once, because I was gushing over the fact that Blue Ivy knew who Alicia was, and I was losing my mind. I was like, Alicia.
Yeah.
Alicia. I was just like gushing over it. And she goes, Ashley, she knows you too. And I was like,
she did that with me with Lana Del Rey, which this is one thing I like love about Alicia. Like, she'll bring you into these moments, right? Because like it's like you don't want to say it out loud, but then also when she says it, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. It was so crazy, but I was really happy for her for that.
Good.
But all that to say, like walking into the round table, Alicia wasn't planning on talking. We didn't know that it was like an open conversation, and she was definitely nervous. But when there was like a specific topic about like how to pivot, like once you found your niche and you've gone viral and you've built that following, like how do you branch out from there? She like in her chair, she was in the swivel chair. Me and Abigail were sitting behind her like proud moms. She like turns around and she was like, I've got this.
Of course
she was like,
does.
This is my topic. This is it. And I even told her I would have been so scared to like hit the button and start speaking in front of all of these people, but she did it, and she did it so well. And yeah, I was just super proud of her. She really showed up and showed out, and it was one of the best trips of my life. And yeah,
I love that for you.
I just felt like I'm here. I'm gonna get your content. I was like scared to, because it was so intense, but I like got up in the middle of it and went to the other side to like film her. And I was
it's nice when you're not doing it for yourself.
Yeah,
because you can like, anytime I film for someone else or I do certain things for someone else, I'm like so brave. Or like even like if one of my friends likes a guy, I'm like walk straight up to the guy. I'm like, hey, like my friend thinks you're cute, like blah, 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 start a conversation. Now, if it's for me, I'm like, no, I can't. I'm just going to stare at you and hope you like.
No, I'm the exact same way. And I think one of my fears about content creation, like in public, is worrying about what people think about me. But if I'm doing it for Alicia, I'm like, oh, she brought me to Dubai to like, obviously, yes, to like have fun and travel with, but like mostly to like support her and help her do this. I'm like, this is kind of my job while I'm here. Sorry, I'm going to fix my hair real quick. I just saw it sliding out. Okay, hair's fixed. I feel better now.
You know what's okay, this is like just total girly things. I mean, maybe guys go through this. I don't really know. But that reminds me of the other day when we were at Remy's party and I took like pictures of you and then you were like, oh, my hair looks so bad. And I was like, your hair looks so good. And that's happened to me so many times where someone will like tag me in a photo and I'm like, I look so bad. And they're like, you look so beautiful in this photo. And it's so weird because I'm like, how are our eyes like not seeing the same things? Because like you'll do that. You'll be like, oh, my hair. And I'm like, I think it looks so cute.
Yeah, I felt like a mess that day. I don't remember why, but I had a last minute sponsorship come in and I didn't have time to get ready. Yeah.
I thought you looked so like effortless. Hello?
Effortlessly.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Taryn.
Not you with your little henna.
That's my henna tattoo. It's my very first one.
It's beautiful.
She did this. I'm not kidding, guys. Like 3 minutes.
No,
she did it so
actually
fast.
Beautiful.
And I was just like, that's gorgeous.
And was it a stencil or is she just freehand?
No, what it looked like was a cake piping bag.
Yeah, I've seen how they do it, but they don't like stencil before.
No stencil.
That's so cool.
Freehand did it. She had this tiny little bag with the ink product. Couldn't even tell you the proper name.
Is it called henna? Or is henna like the process? Wow, I have
no idea. We're very uneducated here.
Yeah, cool.
But she did it so fast, so quickly. I didn't even tell her what I wanted. She just like went for it. And I was
That's really cool.
It's so gorgeous. I've obviously seen henna videos. And so when they offered it, they were like, oh, it was like after dinner, before dessert. They were like, if anyone wants henna, like she's here, she's back there, just like go ahead on in. I was literally the first one. I was like, me. Because I think the videos are so mesmerizing.
So yeah,
I've watched a lot of weddings where they've done henna on the bride. And I've like specifically before bed, it's a great like before bed watch, like content to watch because it's so peaceful and relaxing usually.
Yeah.
And watching them put henna like all over their arms and everything, I'm just unwell. It's so pretty. So it was really fun to experience that.
Cool. Yeah. I'm happy you had a good time.
Oh my gosh, the best time.
Today's episode is brought to you by Paired. So, question, have you ever felt overwhelmed, exhausted, distant, disconnected from your partner? Maybe like a need to like reconnect in some kind of way, but maybe you're feeling like overwhelmed on how to even start that? Well, let me tell you about this app that is changing the lives of couples everywhere. It's called Paired. It's an app for couples who want to strengthen their relationship. It was founded on the simple belief that real, lasting love is a daily practice, which I can get behind. And here's how it works. You and your partner download the app Pair together, and every day, Paired gives you personalized questions, quizzes, and games to stay connected, deepen your conversations, and have fun too. The best part is that you can't see your partner's answers until you answer them yourself. So it's a safe place to have an open and honest discussion about your relationship. No faking it, no pretending, just genuine connection, which I love. I mean, let's face it, making time to connect with your partner daily can be tiring, especially after a long day of work or especially if you have kids involved. So if we're being honest with ourselves, a lot of the time we're just neglecting our partner. And that's why I think Pair really has something going on here, because it's such a fun way to like naturally and easily reconnect with someone that you love. You don't even have to try. And we spend most of our time these days on our phones anyways. So what's adding one more little thing to do on your phone? You can learn new things about each other if you're like a newer couple, or you can strengthen your relationship if you've, been together for a while. You can also find new ways to spice up your routine as a couple. Honestly, the benefits are endless. The other day, Jackson and I were just catching up after a long day, and he mentioned something that I thought, wow, I should probably like dig a little more into that. And I was so glad that I did, because that created a safe space for him to open up and me to understand him a little bit better. So whether you're just a few dates in or have been together for a long time, find the time to connect with your partner and nourish your relationship. Start strengthening your relationship in an easy, fun way. And guess what? It only takes 5 minutes a day. Head to paired.com/advice to get a 7-day free trial and 25% off if you sign up for a subscription. Just head to paired.com/advice to sign up today.
Yeah, it's funny because this recording session, you're coming from a trip. Mm-hmm. And then our next recording session, I land from Miami the night before.
Well, at least recording. We're in this together.
So yeah, I think I will be dead though. I will be dead.
I mean,
because it's for a bachelorette party and there's no chill time at all. Yeah. It's like club, another club, but like it's going to be wild. But it's so funny because Miami, I know, is like a popular like bachelorette place.
It's a party city.
But in the group text I'm in, I'm going for this girl that I know and I adore, but I don't really know anyone else
I feel
going.
like you're in that situation a lot.
All the time. I'm not in her bridesmaids.
Yeah.
The whole trip was planned, and then I went out with her and like Vanessa and Jules, and she was like, "Do you guys want to come to my bachelorette party?" Because we just have so much fun when we're together. And me and Vanessa were like, "Say less," and like literally just bought tickets to Miami like that day.
So fun.
But in the group text, and so it's funny because I have no context of like who these people are, but one of the girls sent a video of her reminding her husband or boyfriend, like, "I'm going to Miami in 11 days. And he was just like, "No, you're not. Like, I'm not letting you go," like whatever. And so then every girl did like a video telling their man, like, "I'm going to be in Miami soon." And all the guys are like, "No, don't go.
Don't do it.
Don't do it."
I remember going for my manager's bachelorette party, and we kept sending her now husband tons of videos of her, and he was like, "I hate this."
Yeah.
He was like, "She looks so good. Get her out of there."
Yeah.
Like, nope, she can't go out like that.
I told my guy, I was like, "How do you feel about me going to Miami?" And I could tell he's a little like wary of it.
Yeah.
But he's like, "It's fine. Just like, you can't get mad if I go to Miami." And I was like, "No, it's not the same." Like, guy trips and girl trips are not the same.
Yeah.
At all. Like, I feel like girls go out and we're so focused on each other. Like, all we care about is like getting ready,
But
looking
a lot
hot,
of
taking
guy
pictures.
trips, obviously depending on the guys, but a lot of like bachelor parties, there's like strippers.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's different.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like the guy's perspective is you're all dressed up and like out at clubs.
well, I think they are like, "I don't want people looking at you," where we're like, "I don't want you looking at people."
Yes, it's
like
the same. It's a
flopped.
similar thing.
But I feel like for a girl, it's a lot more innocent because you're like, "I'm not focused on anyone. Like, I'm literally just like, you've seen me out.
I think this
I'm like a hot mess."
is very specific to you because I know I feel like this is very specific to you.
What are you talking about?
No, girls. You said innocent going to bachelorette parties, but I'm like, it very much depends on the girl. Because I feel like I've seen and known plenty where I'd be like, if I was your guy, I'd be worried.
For sure. We all have those friends that were like, "I could ruin your life."
You dress so like conservative
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
always dancing, but like in more of like a fun, funny way,
Yeah.
less of like a come and get me boys way. Whereas like there's those girls where I'd be like, yeah.
Like, you're a ma'am, you're out.
Yeah. And they're
All
not
of
even
you?
they're not even
Yeah.
the soon to be bride. Because
No.
there's like it's kind of fair if you're like about to get married to go like a little crazy, right?
Yeah,
like it's like,
yeah.
hey, like it's your last party or whatever. But anyway.
No, I feel like bachelorette parties, it's like more of an excuse for like the other people that are like, "Ugh, well, I have to go." Like, it's her bachelorette party, but then they are the ones that like go ham.
Yeah. 100%.
The ones that have been married for like 10 plus years and are bored. Like,
I was gonna say the married ones are the ones that go crazy,
wild,
because they it's been a minute.
it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. They've been focused on babies and
Yeah.
they're like drinks,
Yeah.
alcohol,
Yeah.
and then they're sloshed and you have to send them home early because they couldn't hang.
I'm like, the only person you'd like, obviously, if like my celebrity crush was there, I would like flirt, but I wouldn't do anything.
Well, yeah,
Wouldn't do anything, Ash.
of course not. Of course not.
It's, it must be nice to like date someone who's just like a loyal gem, because there's not many of us out
You're
there.
talking about yourself.
I am talking about myself. I am talking about myself. Tooting my own horn. But anyways, yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't really have an update. I'll have updates next week. I did go on a road trip with my guy.
That's
For
fun.
it was like 5-6 hours in the car.
And how was it?
It was really fun.
I feel like travel in general, but road trips specifically, are important when you first start dating someone. Like you get to
That's what I was
see
thinking.
a different side of them. Like road trips, involves a lot of talking. You can't get distracted with each other or like have a makeout session, just sit and watch TV.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
literally have to
Gotta
talk or like listen to a podcast and still talk. So it's like, it's a great like way to get to know someone.
I do this thing with him that he like absolutely hates, but I'll just like, anytime it's quiet, I feel like I do this even with you, where I'll be like, well, we'll always be like, tell me a secret, like random times. But with him, I'll be like, ask me a question. Because I think that's interesting when you do that with people, because usually like it kind of brings to surface like things that they like randomly are curious about you, you know?
Yeah.
So we were driving and I was like, ask me a question. And he like made this face and I was like, is this like your least favorite thing about me? And he was like, honestly, maybe. I was like, okay.
It's probably Jackson's.
Girl. So then we start doing it, right? Like I ask a question, he asks a question, and literally for hours we were just like asking each other questions. And then even when we got to like the place we were going, like we walk in and he's like, okay, it's your turn. Like next question. It was like so fun. Like we were just like talking about like our childhoods and like past relationships or friendships or whatever. But it was like really fun.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway,
I love that. What snacks did you bring?
I didn't have time to like shop for snacks, but I brought water bottles, energy drinks, cashews, granola bars. And then I had gotten him for Valentine's Day, like the nerd clusters and some like chocolates. So we had those.
I cannot believe we haven't talked about this. How was your Valentine's Day?
I didn't even get to see him.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm confused. Then when was your road trip?
It was a few days before Valentine's Day. It was like, there was a big mix up in scheduling.
Got it.
I might see him later this week and we might do like a prolonged
Like a
one.
dinner?
But no, I got him like a couple like cute like cards and things beforehand. And he was like mad because he's like, I didn't know we were doing this. And I was like, it's okay. I just love
You're like, I
Valentine's Day.
figured this is just me.
Yeah. So no, I mean, just text each other like happy Valentine's Day and then we might celebrate later. But I know I was like, of course, like
Your favorite holiday ever.
the 1 year I actually have someone I could have a Valentine, but no, he had a family thing. So
Well, you can do a post Valentine, no problem. I did an early Valentine.
yeah, you did.
So doesn't
Yeah.
matter as long as you get to do it.
Yes.
I did do something cute though. Obviously I was gone. And Jackson constantly jokes. I'll always be like, "Oh, you never get me flowers." And he'll be like, "You never get me flowers." And then that's always his comeback. And it always like shuts me up. Cause I'm like, you're the guy. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want flowers. And
Yeah.
he's gotten me flowers. But that's just something I just like being annoying and like being like, "Oh, it's been so
Poor
you haven't
me."
gotten me
Yeah,
flowers." And every time his response is, "You never get me flowers." So I ordered flowers to the house
Did you
on
send
Valentine's
him flowers?
Day.
How cute.
And on the card, it said, "Can't say I never got you flowers now." And then I was like, look in my nightstand drawer, and I had a card waiting for
How
him. So that was my like
cute,
little
Ash.
gift. Because I had plans that I was going to do to surprise him. And then obviously I wasn't there. So that's what I ended up doing instead. I thought it was really clever.
Look at you being all romantic.
Yeah, it was cute.
Proud of you, babe.
Thanks. I was like, Taryn would approve.
Taryn would approve.
All right, well, let's go ahead and dive on in to the Tearing It Up section when we get to laugh at all the silly things you guys do. This one is titled, "I Fell and Completely Broke a Display at Target."
No. I need to know so many
I'd be
more
mortified.
things. So many more
Because
things.
If you are in a different country, think of like your local convenience store. And when she says display stand, I think she
I'm
specifically
picturing
means,
like mannequins and
or like one of those parts of the aisle that are on the outside. Like that's kind of what I was envisioning.
yeah.
We'll see.
We'll
Let's dive
see.
in. Hey, Ash and Taryn. My name is Megan, and you can totally use my name.
Hey, girl.
I first have to tell you both how much I love and adore you. Your podcast has completely changed my life. I am a day one listener and have followed you both on socials for years. She puts in all caps. I know I can speak for all of us in the UA fam. You guys are changing lives for the better and making all of us the best versions of ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Taryn.
Changing lives. Don't
Wow.
you?
Just your modern everyday heroes. He continues. Now let's get into my story. This happened about a month ago and I'm still mortified. I went to Target because my cats needed more cat food and I ended up walking down several aisles browsing as one does when one goes to Target. I was looking at the candle section, picking out a candle for my friend whose birthday was that weekend. I picked out a perfect candle that I think she would love. I start to walk away looking down at the candle and reading the label of all the scents. And as I round the corner, I trip on the edge of the end cap display. So it's the end of the aisle that's like facing the main aisle that people walk down when browsing aisles.
Yes.
If that makes sense. You know, the ones that face the aisle and have stuff hanging on them? I thought I caught my balance, but then feeling like it was happening in slow motion, I started to fall right on to the display.
Oh no.
Not like to the side or just the edge of it.
The trajectory was already set.
Now, I'm more of a mid to plus size girl, so this wasn't some small little oops trip, but a loud and damaging one. I fall completely on top of the display, taking the stuff that was hanging with me.
Oh no.
The worst part, people for sure saw. There was a man and woman that across the aisle watched the whole thing. The woman came up and asked if I was okay, and I said, yep. I was so flustered and mortified, but she didn't even help me up. She just walked away.
Oh,
The man, he was across the aisle and turned and looked while I was falling, watched the whole thing, and then turned back to what he was looking at on the shelf. I guess chivalry is dead.
apparently.
I mean, help her up at least. Like, at least offer a hand.
You at least like walk towards, like you don't put your hands on someone, but like you walk, you make it apparent, like, do you need help?
Yeah, you offer to help. If they say no, that's fine. If they don't want to be touched, that's fine. But like, you at least offer. Are you okay? Do you need help? That's
not
so easy.
just looking right back at. I feel like if you're gonna, I've done where I'll quickly glance away because I don't want them to be embarrassed that I just saw.
Yeah.
But that's more
If
like
it's little.
a trip or like running into something.
Yeah.
But if someone's like straight up on the floor, like taking
and, like,
stuff down
took
with
stuff
them.
down with them.
Yeah. I'm over there helping pick up. And
I recently at Sprouts, my cart tipped while I was like putting everything in the car because it was on the edge of a curb and it ended up rolling off. I dropped all my eggs. They cracked
not
everywhere.
Your eggs.
And
There's
I
a
literally stood
shortage.
there and I was just like, oh my gosh. And I looked up and a guy was like standing in the parking lot, saw the whole thing. And I was like struggling to like get the cart up. He just kept walking. I literally was like, you're not even gonna.
Rude.
He didn't ask if I was okay. Didn't ask to help. I could not get the cart up. It was like packed full of stuff. Chivalry.
Rude.
Chivalry. If it was a woman, she would have been like,
Oh, for sure.
help?
For sure.
for sure. Obviously, this woman did. Anyways, back to our listener story. Anyway, as I start to try and get up, taking more stuff down with me, I am finally able to get up and start looking at the damage I caused and try putting things back together. The problem was the metal bars that were holding all of the products got completely ripped out from the display with no way of fixing them. So there I am looking at this completely broken display, wondering what the hell just happened. A thoughtful and amazing person would go tell a worker what happened and apologize. What did I do? I sprinted out of the store as fast as I possibly could because I was so embarrassed. She adds, not my proudest moment.
Understandable though.
It took me a few weeks to show my face in that Target again, and sometimes I still feel embarrassed as I walk around the Target today. Anyways, I hope you guys got a good laugh out of my story and felt the secondhand embarrassment from it. I love you both so much. Love, Megan.
Woof.
Megan.
Megan girl.
If you're a listener and you see someone fall in Target, let's all do each other. Let's all make a promise together. If we see that happen, we're gonna go help.
Yeah.
We're gonna go help. It's not that hard to offer.
It really is not.
And it would have been a nice little cherry on top to Megan's story if someone would have helped.
I know. Because she probably would have been more comfortable to like sit and try to put things away if someone was there like helping her.
Yeah. The fact
Girl.
that no one helped, she was like, I'm leaving.
We've all done it. We've all had some
What's hilarious
spills.
is you should actually go back and like ask for the video.
Oh my gosh. You know
And then
that the
send it,
security
like, that
person
would go viral. Like people just being like some random person at Target, like falling, tripping, and
Well,
then
'cause
running out of the building.
Target security is
So
top
intense.
of the line.
Yeah.
So you know that someone like watched that whole thing happen.
Yeah. 100%.
Very closely.
Yeah. They saw the whole thing.
It's on
record.
someone's cell phone and they've like showed their
Yeah. They showed their employees.
friends and family. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Are we ready, Ash?
Oh, I'm ready, Taryn.
Also, I think I officially found my, you know how I always have a lip gloss in my hand?
Yeah. If you don't watch on YouTube, you probably have no idea. But in every single episode we've ever recorded Taryn's holding something and clicking it.
Oh.
And
does the click drive you crazy? Because I know like people with ADHD, like little noises can like burrow in their brains.
Yes. It doesn't drive me crazy because it's not repetitive.
Yeah, I'm not like click, click, click.
It's not like, when people do that with pins, it's like,
yes,
that would drive me nuts.
That would drive me
because
insane
yours
too.
is kind of like here and there. It doesn't bother me as much. But if it was persistent, I would have said something years ago.
This one has like ridges and it's like
nice.
magnetized. So it like snaps really nice.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying this. But I'm like, I should get like a quiet fidget that I just have for podcast recording.
Yeah.
Like they have cool
you
adult
used to have
ones.
your ring and I would watch you do that.
Well, and I have this ring.
Oh,
I
there
have
it
like
is.
one of those stress rings. So like I'll do that.
I'm surprised you need a gloss when you have that.
Girl, I don't mean to, like I don't do it on purpose. Like I literally just like put it on right before and then somehow it always like ends up in my hand.
I feel like it has to be on purpose if it's been every episode.
Well, I always apply my lip gloss right before and then I come to go set it down and then I end up just like
holding
not.
it.
It's just in my hand. Anyways, wow. Continuing. If anyone has some good fidget recommendations, let me know.
I still remember fidget spinners.
Yes, I do. And I remember how freaking into it we got where we were
Everyone
doing
was-
like tricks.
I remember going to Europe on a flight and I got some for everyone that I went on the flight with because I was with a group of friends. And I remember one of our friends, he had it and I was sitting diagonally across from him. So he was on an edge seat, aisle seat, like 2 rows ahead of me. And in his right hand, I'm on the left, my left hand sticking out right from my side. He's 2 rows up and his right hand sitting on the armrest the whole flight. He was playing with
That
the fidget
makes
spinner
sense.
the whole flight. And I just remember being like, that's probably the best thing I've ever given him. Yes. He was just like the entire flight playing with it. We all were. And it was so fun.
I know. They have some really cool ones out now.
Yeah.
Especially ones like for adults. So yeah, I need to just like actually get one. But anyways, okay. So this story, email, our girl needs an intervention badly.
Okay.
So the second I start reading it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's fine. Just know we're coming in as like older sisters who are like, enough is enough.
Okay.
Okay. Because this man,
Yeah. All right.
I'm triggered.
You got me. Okay. I know where we're.
Well, just listen to the title. Mm-hmm. My boyfriend called me ugly and keeps breaking up with me. Why am I still here? I don't know why.
Question.
I don't know why. You will not be by
Called
the time
me
we're done with
ugly?
him. Girl, just wait. Okay.
The way Jackson would be kicked out of our apartment. I'd be like, leave.
Literally.
Leave.
There are certain guys I've been with where I felt not necessarily ugly, but insecure because they just never like made me feel beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then there's other guys like my guy right now. Like I've never felt more just like beautiful in my life. Like I feel like every inch of me is perfect.
That.
I know. It's actually,
stop. I'm like gonna cry.
no, it's actually
I'm just
been,
so happy for you.
it's been like one of the most.
What?
Not the jet lag hitting right
That
now.
was such like a casual way of just saying like things are good with you, and I'm like unwell.
I think because like that's something I've personally always struggled with. And then when a guy gets involved, it gets like a lot worse.
Yeah.
And there's just something about him that like, I don't know. I've never experienced someone where I feel just like so confident and not even like even moments where I'm like, I know that this cannot be attractive. Yeah. But like, he's just, I don't know. There's just something about him that I'm just like so thankful for that. But all of that to say, like, I've had men that have made my insecurity come out.
Yeah.
But I've never had someone just straight up say it. So I can't even imagine like what that does to your mind.
Yeah. It's one of those things that it's like your worst possible self-deprecating negative thought.
Yeah.
Come to fruition.
It's like Ross and Rachel when he makes the list and she's like, you don't get it. These are all my insecurities.
Yeah.
But to hear the person I trusted the most say these as reasons not to be with me. Wow.
Yes.
Have I watched Friends enough? Because I'm pretty sure
I mean, that was like verbatim.
I'm pretty sure.
I think you might have perfectly quoted that.
Oh, shoot. I need to like stop putting TV shows on in the background. Anyways,
That's
okay.
so funny.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's.
Hi, Taryn and Ashley.
Hey.
I have been listening to your podcast since COVID, and the stories and advice you have shared have been truly insightful.
That's so funny. I'm sorry. That's so funny. You say you've been
Did
watching
you hear
since
my-
COVID because the sweatshirt you're wearing,
I wear this sweatshirt all the time.
but you got it from that girl who started
yeah.
that company during COVID.
Yes, you're
and the
right.
second you sat down in front of me, I was like, I like mentally clocked your sweatshirt and was like, oh my God.
Because you got some too.
Because we all got some.
Yeah, we all got some.
Mad X, right?
Yes, Mad X.
Yeah.
wonder
She
how
started
she's
this like
doing.
it was like a nonprofit
It
thing.
was, yeah, and it was like raising money for people affected by like losing their jobs.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. I mentally clocked it and was like, "Whoa, that's the COVID sweatshirt."
I love this sweatshirt.
Everyone in our house got one, so it was like it's the second I saw it, I was like, "Aw."
Yeah, it's like all like worn, like you can barely see the writing anymore.
No, and it matches
love
your
it.
your pants perfectly.
Thanks,
So
girl. Wow.
okay, continue.
Okay. Our advice is truly insightful by giving a different perspective on the situations and show that we are not alone. I love that. I don't even know where to begin with my story and question, but I'll try to give as much context as possible without it being too long. My boyfriend, who's 32, and I, who's 27, have been together for nearly 2 years. Right before Christmas, we had what I call the first incident.
Oh.
And then she titles the first incident.
Yeah. Ta-da.
Chapter 1, the first incident. I was running late back to his apartment from a work Christmas party. As I arrive at 11:45 p.m., he was laying down on the couch, and the first thing he said was, "Why are you here?"
Whoa.
And I, she puts in parentheses, yes, a bit drunk, was taken aback, but still to the best of my ability, remained calm. And I explained that we had agreed to spend the night together at his place, with him fully aware that I was at a work Christmas party. Keeping it short, he broke up with me on the spot because he, quote unquote, can't trust me. And
Can't wait.
I don't communicate. So basically, it sounds like she had a work party and then was going to come to his place to stay the night.
Yeah.
The work party maybe got a little lit, got a little long. And so she came back late, like almost midnight. And I must have been triggered by that and said, I can't trust you and you don't communicate. So maybe she didn't say like, hey, I'm running late. That's the only thing I can like piece together. But to break up, wild.
Also, just like to be mad in general. If you knew she was going to a party and she's coming over afterwards to crash.
Yeah. Wild.
What part of I'm going to a party and going to come crash with you that night makes you think that you're like the number one priority for that?
Yep. Even that, like, I can imagine being, if in my mind, I thought, okay, he'll be back at like 9 or 10. We can like watch a movie and hang, whatever. And he came back at midnight drunk. I can imagine being annoyed or being like,
Sure.
hi, finally, nice for you to show up, and being like sassy about it.
Yeah.
But I cannot imagine being like, why are you here? Like, we're done. You don't communicate. Like, that's wild. And she said this is the first incident. So it's not like she has a habit of just like
Right. It's not like he's like
blowing
again.
him off.
Or even if she had like a drinking problem. It's not like he's like again.
Yeah. I know.
That make it make sense.
Okay. This came out of nowhere and I was so distraught. I kept asking for an explanation, but he just kept saying he, quote unquote, said all he has to say.
Okay.
Yeah. At this point, it's 2 a.m. and I tell him we should just sleep and talk in the morning. He says okay to the sleeping part and just pulls the blanket over him on the couch. So I go to the bedroom, and in the morning, he got up earlier for work than normal, didn't say anything after I kept asking for answers, and just left. The whole
Wow.
day, I spiral. Hear
I
nothing
mean-
from him. Girl, as everyone would. Till finally I message and say, if you really are doing this, at least have the respect to talk to me and explain. We meet up that evening and he says the same thing. He can't trust me. He'd rather break up than himself spiral. In the same point, he says, but you've never done anything for me not to trust you. She puts, my point exactly. Girl, I know. The conversation ends with me apologizing for being late and not communicating. Since then, so it sounds like they like reconnected. Since then, it's been in the back of my mind constantly. I notice he becomes more and more distant, doesn't initiate conversations, doesn't plan anything, and just very different to who he was and what he used to do. A week goes by and we go to our own families for the holidays. We don't really call or text. And he even mentions that after I sent him a flirty message that, quote, every time he is less and less attracted to me. So
I'm sorry.
By flirty
think my brain
text,
just kind of like
I'm
broke.
assuming she made a comment like, oh, I wish I was with you, or I wish I, like, insinuating I wish we were like intimate or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, and he says every time he's less and less attracted to her. And everyone say it together, trash.
I don't understand. Like, wouldn't that be like what he wants?
I have a theory. We'll get to it, but just trash. She said, of course, it wrecked me. Yet on his return, I still pick him up from the airport since we had planned this.
You angel.
And when we get back to mine, that's when the second incident happens. I explain how I've been feeling, him being distant, that I'm always initiating conversations and just miss what he used to do. Mm-hmm. And most importantly, trying to get to the bottom of his statement that he's less attracted to me. He says that he wishes I was more feminine. I couldn't. No, what? It is just like, you know when like you see a person running down the hill and there's like a tiny trip, but it throws off their legs and then they're just
now
like
they're tumbling.
They can't catch it and you're just watching, waiting for the crash. That's how I feel reading this entire email.
Yeah.
Okay. I ask him what he means, and he says he doesn't even know. He just wishes she was more feminine. Okay. I am so emotionally exhausted about this that I just say, okay, sure, I'll see what I can do. And then a few days later, after a New Year's party, he mumbled, just to go to bed, you're ugly. Girl.
He said, go to bed, you're
Go
ugly.
to bed, you're ugly.
He said, go to bed,
you're
ugly.
You're ugly. And again, what I'm imagining, it's after New Year's, they're home. For someone to be like, just go to bed, you're ugly, I think she was probably trying to like initiate something. That's what I'm guessing. Because like, why would you just tell someone like, just go to bed and be like, you're ugly, I'm not into it.
I can't imagine telling someone to their face they're ugly. If I've ever called someone ugly, I meant it in like what they're doing is ugly.
Yeah,
their
like
heart is ugly.
Yeah.
Like their intentions were ugly. Like I don't think I've ever said someone is ugly.
No.
That's so cruel.
Yeah. Especially someone you're with. Even like, say
Also,
you like,
if he means it, why are you with her?
Exactly.
I don't understand. Like if she's getting more and more unattractive to you and you're calling her ugly.
Yeah. But see, like, to me, I've had before where I've started to lose interest in someone. And part of what makes someone attractive to me specifically is when I'm getting closer to them, when I'm like falling more for them, like they become the hottest person in the world to me. And which is why it's so easy for me to be loyal. Cause like once I'm into you, I am like,
it's done. Game over.
Into you.
I'm your best friend, loyal.
For sure.
I will be there. Yeah.
For sure. And I'm just like drooling over you 24/7.
Right.
So if I'm losing attraction to someone, it's probably because I'm also losing interest.
Right.
I can't imagine actually like saying that as a reason. Like if you cared about someone, you think you would be kind enough to just be like, hey, something's missing. I don't feel the same. Like I would never just sit there and like attack how they look. Mm-hmm. Like why? What's the meaning for it?
I don't know.
Ugh. She continues, I know I'm not ugly, nor have I changed anything about my appearance since we met, so I don't understand where this is all coming from. There are many more minor incidents, a few more breakups, or him saying you're probably with the wrong person. I love how she's calling that minor. And
well, I mean, compared to ugly.
Are you getting why I'm like our writer needs an intervention?
Yeah,
we're gonna spit some things at you soon. And in reality, I know that if my friends ever came to me with even those minor moments, I would say they deserve so much better.
Yeah.
So why can't I leave him? Especially when he keeps bringing up breaking up. Please help me. I'm tired of feeling like this. And if you want, she said, if we want more information or an update, I'm happy to share, as this is almost a weekly occurrence. Thanks so much for all that you do. All the love. Anonymous.
Use your gut.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it.
I cannot believe that you're still with him. And I mean that with all the love in my heart. I cannot believe the verbal abuse that is being done, the way he's treating you, the way he even threw like he can't trust you when all of a sudden he has to come back and say like, you've actually never done anything for me to say that. Like he sounds awful. He sounds awful. He doesn't sound interested in you. It sounds like he's not attracted to you. It sounds like he thinks very poorly of you and is very unbothered by your feelings in every way. So why stay?
The thing is, I don't even necessarily believe that he actually thinks those things. I think what this sounds like to me is, for whatever reason, he got so upset that you were late. It probably triggered his ego of like, is she out cheating on me? Is she out? She's lying to me, whatever. And ever since then, to me, it sounds like he's literally trying to punish you. Like, it sounds like a little kid
late?
Who's literally trying to like put you in your place and like take you down a peg. Like,
Is for being late though?
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's that. I think that triggered in him, oh, she's out at this party when she's supposed to be here with me. And I think it triggered something in his ego. Maybe he has issues beforehand. Maybe he's been cheated on before. I don't know. But to me, it sounds like he is like literally bullying her at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he's not attracted to her. I think he likes the feeling of watching her literally suffer and try to like keep him. I think he like there's something fundamentally wrong, because the only reason you threaten to break up with someone multiple times but don't actually do it is because you get off on
The power.
yeah. And him calling you ugly, him like those are darts. Like, he's shooting straight darts at you to hurt you. And it sounds like ever since that first incident, because you said he never treated you like this before, after the first incident, it's been like weekly, just like him treating you like this and saying very hurtful things. To me, it sounds like a weird sadistic like punishment, like a narcissist trying to like put you down so he has like his thumb on top of you.
That is what it sounds like. And it does sound like he's getting off on it somehow. And like, what you did one thing wrong and he's holding it over your head now forever and playing the victim. And, you know, I can't trust you now. Like, for why? For what?
It's like he wants to make her feel worthless so she doesn't go anywhere.
Okay, well, that sounds like a very toxic relationship,
Right?
Like, every way that we have worded this, every way that more she talked, it sounds like he's an awful toxic human.
No good man is going to talk to his woman the way that he's talking to you. And say if we gave him there's no way to give him the benefit of the doubt, but say we tried and said like, he's a genuine person, he really feels these things, that he's not attracted and they're wrong for each other. Like, no good man is going to talk like that. He's going to leave if he feels that way.
No, a good human would say, hey, like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't think this is working.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not feeling what I should be feeling by this point. 2 years? 2 years?
Well, and it sounds like 2 years of like a pretty decent relationship then to that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what is triggering this. If it really was the first time that he actually felt like, oh my gosh, she could have cheated on me or like whatever. But either way, I want to be so clear. You do not deserve this treatment at all. And as someone who stayed in a relationship where breakups were threatened very frequently, it does lasting damage.
Yeah.
Like, lasting damage that I'm currently trying to like deal with, because I feel it creates this like feeling within you that like at any moment the ground could fall. Like, because you were with someone, like in my case, it was like 4 years, and it would be like the tiniest thing would be like this big talk about like, I don't know if we should be together. And I would feel like my whole world was falling apart.
Yeah.
Then to just go on to act normal the next day, like it's damaging.
Yeah.
So I know you're like, I don't know why I can't leave. I'm literally pleading with you to leave because you're creating a pattern within your relationship where you're having these ups and downs. Also, you're creating a pattern where you're letting someone talk to you in ways and tell you things that are just are ugly. He is ugly. Like he's ugly on the inside.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're having a hard time to find the motivation, you need to think about your future self and you need to do it for her.
Yeah.
Because she is the one that's going to struggle in every relationship she gets in if you let this damage keep penetrating. So I feel like sometimes we're like, oh, I'm strong. I can deal with this. Like, I'd rather this than be alone. But we're not thinking about our future self that's going to have to deal with all of this.
And deal with it for why? Like, what's the reason to deal with it? It's not like you have children.
Yeah.
And you're trying to stay, again, like I would still tell you to leave, but like at least there's a reason to try and make it work. You know, you're trying to create like a family for your child. If you don't have kids and you don't have a reason to be with someone or to stay with someone, why put up with stuff like that? Like that makes zero sense to me.
Let's not forget.
Unless the fact that unless he's gotten your self-worth to plummet that low over time that you're just not.
Which is why you're probably not able to leave because he's done exactly what he's trying to do.
I guess my only real question here is, Anonymous, I'm curious if you were to sit with yourself and really be honest, did this just happen out of nowhere because of this holiday party? Or has this been something like under the surface going on all of these 2 years? Because it doesn't feel like something that would have just come out of nowhere.
Yeah. And girl, I mean, as we all have to do, I think you're going to have to dig into if there's an underlying reason why you are staying. Like, what is your previous relationship? What's like your relationship with your dad? What's your relationship with friendships? Like you seem like a person who stays or has that fear of being left or rejected. And I think there's multiple things you need to look into because from an outside perspective, and it sounds like you already know this by what you said about if my friends were doing this, I'd be like, you deserve so much better.
Yeah.
But from an outside perspective, it's wild to me that you're still there.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not trying to put judgment on you. And I think you should be so gracious of yourself right now. But I'm just trying to say, like, there's something underlining that's keeping you there, whether it's he's done a really good job of knocking you down or this is triggering something in your past.
Yeah.
And I think you need to sort that out so that you can like get up to leave. But this man deserves, he's 32, by the way. I almost forgot.
Why was I picturing like a 24-year-old?
No, he's 32 years old. So
he's set in his ways. He's not changing.
And also, I'm so sorry, but like, how many, like, let's just specifically think about people we know that have gotten divorced or been in crazy toxic relationships. The dating relationship was so nice. And then once they got married and like were set, then the nasty behavior started coming out, right?
Yeah.
So you've only been dating him 2 years. Yes, it's a long time, but in the scheme of a life, it's not that long. And if he's already showing these behaviors, telling you you're ugly, telling he's not attracted to you, telling you literally like, get away from me, you're ugly. I don't trust you, but there's really no reason not to trust you. Like, I'm sorry, but if this is happening in the like fun dating stage, what do you think marriage with this human is going to be?
2 years in and you're not living together and he's showing you this, he's showing you his true colors, which honestly, if we're going to be honest about it, like I'd be grateful for that.
Yeah.
At least he's not so manipulative that he's hiding it from you until he's got you locked down and then he can say whatever he wants. Like, let's be grateful that God gave you a glimpse into like the human that he actually is. And let's leave anonymous.
And be ready because this breakup is going to go one of two ways. He's either going to violently spew at you like insults and like you're leaving me. Like he's going to either really come for you. So I would really limit how much you give him. Like have someone like sitting in the parking lot with you and say what you have to say. And when you break up with him, I would quote what he has to say and just be like, you know what? At the end of the day, you've said, I don't think I'm the person for you. You're not attracted to me. You've called me ugly. This tension, I deserve better. You probably want better. So I just think I gotta go and like leave, and don't let him like attack you. Or what's opposite is if he is operating out of just being insecure and like saying all this stuff because he's like trying to get you to want him more, he's going to break down and start promising you everything.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Like, I'm going to be different. Like, I don't know why I said those things. I don't feel that way. And same regard, you need to get out and like not let what he has to say. He's shown you how he feels. He's shown you the person he is.
He showed you his full cards.
And
like,
what is that? What's that saying that always, like, every time I hear it, no matter how many times I hear it, I'm like, why do we never listen to this? But when someone tells you who they are, listen.
believe them.
But we don't. We're like,
No.
you'll have a guy straight up being the worst, and you're like, "Ugh, it's because of his childhood.
He has
it's
trauma.
because like this, it's because of that." Yes, sometimes those are the case, but when someone is being absolutely toxic to you and showing you who they are, listen and get out, because when you stick around, their damage transfers to you. And for your future self, do her a solid and get out of there.
And even if they got there, this person, because of a very serious, crazy, traumatic experience, that doesn't mean you have to put up with it.
Yeah.
That means they should deal with it and go to therapy and fix it themselves. It's not your responsibility.
Absolutely not.
Especially in a dating scenario. I had to write this down because I could not get my thoughts in order and I felt like I was going to lose it.
No,
but
I feel that.
I am very sus about him. The fact that he reacted to you coming in late and being a little tipsy. Because you said a little drunk. So we're going to guess a little tipsy. I think people that I have known and people that I have watched with very toxic men in their lives, the only people that jump to the conclusion that you were untrustworthy are cheaters.
Say it, girl.
Right?
Say it, girl.
And the way that he reacted to you simply being late and a little tipsy, which you have every right to do as a human being, like you literally handled yourself, I thought, very well. I've shown up multiple times to my boyfriend's house and been like, I had too much to drink.
And they love it.
And he thinks it's so funny. He's like helping me get ready for bed and then like I'm out, like knocked out. It shouldn't be so serious. His reaction tells me that he's assuming that you're cheating because that's something he would do. I would not be shocked if he's a cheater. That's my first thing I wrote down. Number 2. The best thing you can do with people like this that are so toxic and that will keep reeling you back in over and over and over again, like Taryn was saying, because I think she's right. I do think I foresee, if you were to end this tomorrow, I foresee him doing that, like saying really nice things. I'm so sorry. You come back. It happens again. You threaten to leave and then he reels you back in. I think people like that are so dangerous. And here's how you leave. Next time he goes to work, grab your stuff, leave. Go to your parents' house. Don't tell him where you are. Don't answer his calls. Block his numbers. Tell your friends and family not to answer his calls. Block his number. Ghost. Literally ghost. And that's
or
the
like,
only that's
leave
the
a
only
letter.
way.
Like leave a letter, because I do think he needs to, for your closure, like I think you need to be the one that tells him like I'm done. So maybe leave a letter or whatever. But I do agree, like you got to be careful of how much you let him say
for
after.
Sure. If you feel like giving him that, you can, but I do think that's like a very unnecessary thing. I think in a lot of ways, I think closure is kind of a excuse people say to say one more thing or see them one more time. I don't think he deserves it. Yeah. I don't think he deserves it. He called you ugly. And that's not the only reason, obviously, but like, I don't think he cares about you in any way. And therefore he can sit and wonder. Let him sit and wonder.
No. I'm saying closure more for her because he's constantly shattered her.
Yeah.
So it would be really empowering to say back to him.
For
like,
sure, you totally could do that.
Yeah.
But I would, it's going to be hard, I'm sure, but I would block his number. I wouldn't tell him where you're going. I would disappear from his life and let him sit and try to like sort that on his own, because that's not your responsibility to get his life in order. And I think that's the only way to deal with toxic people like that. Otherwise, I'm telling you now, this will go on another few years. You'll probably end up married with him and wondering where everything went wrong, and it's because you never left when you should have.
I'm curious too, like how much you've told your friends, because I know like when I was in I was coming to grips with like I was not in a healthy relationship. I did not tell a soul what was going on behind closed doors. So I would kind of do like I would go around and tell all of your friends how bad it is because they're not going to let you go back, first of all.
Yeah.
Second, I really feel like when you do end it, I mean, whatever you choose to do, like I would literally sit and just quote everything he said and be like, those are my reasons because you're right. I agree with you because that's going to drive him actually insane.
Yeah.
And then limit exposure and get out. Like you don't know why you keep saying like, let us be the final straw to be like, this is not what you deserve.
I don't think you've told your friends either because if you have told your friends,
they're
really bad friends for not like really trying to have.
I would be
the
fighting.
fact that she didn't mention her friends being like, you should leave means you haven't told them because real friends would be like, you need to get out of there. And they'd be trying to help you to get out of there. If that was Taryn, I literally would be like, what do you need?
No.
Let's pick a day that you're leaving. I will come. I'll help you get your stuff. I will help you go to your parents. I'll drop you off at the airport, wherever you got to go do. And I would block his number on my end. If he showed up at my house asking where Taryn is, I'd be like, I don't know, you idiot. I'm calling the cops if you don't leave.
Yeah.
Like that's a friend. And I bet your friends would die to do that for you if you would just let them in and include them on what's going on. And then the other thing Taryn said that I think we really need to like hone in on is I think whether it's from him or something else or past experiences or trauma, I think your self-worth is on the ground.
Yeah.
And we got to fix that. So the second you deal with what you got to do and leave, once you've processed that a little bit, I would start therapy immediately and let's get that self-worth back up where it belongs because we do not deserve to be listening to and hearing such horrible, mean things from a piece of trash man. We deserve so much more than that. And I'm really, it breaks my heart that you don't see your worth.
Yeah. And I've said this so many times, but like one of my biggest lessons I learned in my relationship was how dangerous that can be to like hide everything, like hide all the negative from your friends.
Yeah.
And that's something like I've been really good about this time is like I tell my friends when I'm upset about something or like, and what's been really nice is most of it is because of my own stuff. So my friends are able to be like, okay, like you are spiraling. Like I don't think it was that big of a deal, but it's like, it's a lot of me figuring out things, but it's something that I think we need to do more of. And if our friends, there's certain ones and there's certain ones of my friends that are so like anti like men and they're going to be like, screw him. Like you don't need him. Like what? Those aren't the people I'm necessarily going to go to for this, but people I know have my best interests at heart. Also like know about the guy I'm with, know like all of the sides of things. I know they're going to sit and be like, okay, I totally get why that's annoying. I think you should talk to him about it. Or Taryn, you're a little crazy right now. Chill out.
Yeah.
And they're going to want what's best. And they're not going to hold it against him, hold it against me because I'm sharing things that are like normal relationship things that I just haven't dealt with in a while.
Yeah.
But if I did share something that it was like, I don't like love that, then they would be able to talk to me and they'd be able to like track it. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you don't share what's going on in your life and what's going on in your relationship, how do you know if it's normal?
Yeah.
Or not? You know, that's what girl talk is for. Like, that's why you're supposed to have like at least a bestie. Like you're supposed to be like, yeah, you know, the other night he did this and I thought that was kind of weird. Like, I don't know. What do you think? And if she's like, oh my God, like my guy does that all the time.
Yeah.
Like just give him a second or say this, or here's how you fix this or whatever. Then it makes you feel, you're like, oh, okay. You're gauging what's normal in a relationship. When you say to your best friend that, oh my God, we got in this huge fight and it was kind of crazy. We're good now, but he called me ugly.
I'd be like,
The way your friend will be like, I'm sorry, what? Like, that's not okay. Then you're gauging, oh, that's not a normal thing to say in a relationship. Like, and I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt because we all know your partner should not call you ugly. But like, if for some reason you didn't have that gauge, that's why you're supposed to tell your friends what goes on in your life.
Yeah,
Because
it's so
otherwise, like,
true.
how do you know? You know?
And it's crazy because I don't know, like I do think like the older we get, we all have damage we're like trying to deal with and trying to like work through and function, and it affects other people. But from what I'm seeing, like there's such a difference between someone who's old enough to like understand their own damage, understand how it might impact, is mature enough to explain, this is why I am the way I am. I'm working on it. I hear you that it affects you this way, and you see change. Like I'm seeing so much more now what like a healthy like interaction looks like. And I don't know. I just think like there's so much I feel like we put up with because we're so scared of what our life looks like without that person, or what our life looks like if we're alone, or we feel like we can't get any better.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a dangerous trap. And I feel like he has had enough access to you. I know you said this first thing happened Christmas. I mean, December, January, February, like even 3 months of persistent beatdowns, like mentally, it's not healthy. And
at some point, if you're sticking around, that means you're absorbing it.
yeah, you need to get out of there, girl.
It's time. Even if at the very least you took a break from him, even though I suggest not, just leaving. Even at the very least, if you took a break and gave yourself space from him, that would be life-changing, I feel like. So I feel like you might maybe that's a good like, oh, I'm going to go on a girls trip and get away for a bit and get away from him so that you can think clearer, because maybe he's getting in your head a little bit. Maybe that's a good place to start. First thing I would do, tell your friends.
Yeah.
If you don't have friends, tell your mom. If you don't have anyone you can tell, you need to go find someone you can tell. Therapist, random stranger at a bar. Like, I don't know. Like sometimes you just need to say it out loud to hear what you're going through.
Well, girl, if you have no one, you just told us, and we told you exactly how we feel.
I mean, tell one other person what's going on. I guarantee you they're going to have the same reaction we're having. So that should be a
gross.
sign. So
I don't know, dude. It's giving like major red flags, because I think he's going to get way more comfortable to say worse and do worse.
It's
and
about to get a lot worse if you stay. If you get married, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
So tell people in your life, make a plan. I would leave, and I wouldn't give him anything. If you want to give him a note, give him a little note. And then I would immediately get into therapy, because we need to work on how we view ourselves.
Yeah.
But all in love.
Yeah.
Anonymous, this is only because we love you so much, but you got homework to do. And would love an update.
Yeah, would love an update. Yeah, you need to, it's time. It's time to go.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
Well,
you know,
we might have really popped off.
I feel like every time we only get to one story, it's because it
was
really
necessary.
Triggers like our mama bear. And I just feel like, I don't know. I just think there are so many. Here's the difference that I'm saying. If you're going to choose to stay with something through something that's like not preferable, a non-preferred behavior of theirs, conflict you guys have, whatever, there should be a massive other side that makes that worth it and insignificant. Yeah. And it should be foundationally big, right? Like me and my guy have completely different communication styles. Thank you. I was like,
Mandy.
what is
the way my face was like,
not me fumbling communication. I'm talking about communication. Completely different. He, I'm sure, is like, oh my gosh, stop talking sometimes to me, where I'm like, where'd you go?
Yeah.
When it's like,
hello.
Yeah. And it's something that can cause frustration. At the end of the day, the flip side of how he makes me feel, how he shows up, who he is as a person, where I see a life with him, that is the tiniest of annoyances. And it's something that I'm like, we can work on it.
It's something you can work through.
We're still learning each other. Like,
but at the end of the day, the difference is he respects you.
Yes.
And he's clearly like enamored by you and like head over
Yes.
heels and like showing so much love and caring affection towards you. What is this guy doing?
And it's something that is just we're figuring out, or it's showing a difference in just like our styles and who we are. It has nothing to do with how I'm being treated.
Yeah.
It's both of us just being different.
Yeah.
It is not an attack. It is not something being done to me. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we get lost in where that line is.
Yeah.
And I think I'm being so for real right now. There is no question that it is not okay how he's talking to you and treating you. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason for that.
Yeah.
And even, you know, like you said, like nothing's changed about my appearance. I know I'm not ugly. Okay. So like really put yourself in what life is going to look like with this person, because things are about to sag. Things are going to wrinkle. If you have a baby, you might not bounce back. You might have different additions to your body.
Yeah. You think he thinks you're ugly now?
That I'm saying, which ugly is just like, it's wild.
my
and
God.
not that you have to, that's the difference though. Being with someone who loves you, there's not a question of that. And I just feel like this man is not worth risking or betting on. Like, we need to jump ship.
Yeah.
And
Bye.
obviously, like, you approach it how you would. Ash would ghost. I would have a conversation where I'm very straight to the point. You said these things. I hear you. I fully agree. So I'm going to back out because I would want him to see his own words used against him.
Oh, you think I'm ugly? You think you can't trust me? You think I whatever all the
I
stuff.
would be like, you know,
List it
obviously
all
you're not attracted. You
Yeah.
say you can't trust me. I can't really do anything about that, but
Yeah.
if that's how you feel, you said you think you're the wrong person for me. I'm looking for something stable. I think you're right. I hear you, and I'm going to move on. And I would just exit, and that would drive him insane.
I hope he spirals so
what
hard.
is best for you, but you need to get out, and there needs to not be a like, well, I'm going to see what he has to say. Like, he said what he has to say. I'm sorry.
For a long time now.
We're done.
I
You're
keep
done.
looking in the camera because I'm hoping you're watching
I
YouTube
know.
because I'm
You
trying to
better
like
watch
emphasize
YouTube,
the
girl.
point. I've been eyeing you this whole
We're
time
staring
anonymous.
straight at you.
Listen to us. Take our advice. Do
Yeah.
it. And I
anyone else
guarantee
who's listening,
Yeah.
what like really sit down and you got to think about what was your last fight? What was the underlining issue? What are the behaviors that you've just normalized?
Yeah.
And what are the things that you're not telling your friends because you're scared of what they're going to say? And I
Yeah.
think you really need to sit and weigh things out. And why keep going and hoping like, well, marriage will fix it. Well, a kid will fix it. Like, I think there's a point where we have to think about our future selves and do the best thing for her or him. And I think this is a good thing for everyone here, because the way that I was like heels to the ground fighting to stay in a relationship that I wasn't meant for.
Yeah.
It's we've all struggled with it.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great time to just do a self-check.
Yeah.
And if there's little things, if it's like the pros outweigh the cons, like the cons are not toxic, but it's just inconvenient, then you know, and you move forward. But I just think some of us are in her position. Like I really felt her at the end when she's like, I don't want to feel this way and I don't know why I can't leave. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's such a common thing.
Yeah. I'm also just so excited for you. I feel like I say this in every podcast when we're talking about like breakups or possible breakups. When you leave, because you're going to leave, I'm so excited for your single era. You're going to be surrounded by your girls, by the people you love. You're going to be taking care of yourself, prioritizing yourself. You're going to be going to therapy. Like I've said this so many times, but after every
the glow
breakup
up is
has
about to
been
be
such
real.
a beautiful and incredible glow up for me. And it's been the same for everyone that I know. Like post breakup, like, yeah, the first couple of weeks are hard, but then it's not anymore. And you're actually like going and living life again. And all of a sudden you feel a little bit lighter because you're not carrying this huge burden.
Well, and
of
his
trash
negative
man.
voice is like out of your head.
Yes,
So,
you're not,
yeah.
he's not controlling you anymore. And I am so excited for you to grow and look back one day and be like, what was I thinking? I deserve so much more. Your life's about to change for the better.
Yep.
And I hope that you email us then and say, guess what? I took your advice and I'm thriving now.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he is, but guess what? Like, I don't care because I'm so much better off.
He's out verbally beating up someone else.
Somebody
Like,
else.
He's someone else's problem at the end of the day, not yours. So
I wish we could like leave a review to
that
one
would
the other
be
girl.
so sick. Like there needs to be, you know, there's like movies where there's like the AI and you rate each other. Like I don't know what movie that is, but it's like a thing. But I wish
Black Mirror.
Yeah, I wish there was something where you could leave reviews and like every person has like this universal profile.
Yeah.
Where
Wouldn't it be funny?
you just know, you look up and you're like, oh, that's how you treated your exes? Like, no, thank you.
Like if you were on a dating app, like, and you both like actually met up and like got in a relationship, you would have to like verify somehow to avoid like people just going on and talking. But how funny would it be if like Hinge, if you
there is a dating app, you can leave reviews.
That
it's
is brilliant. And I think as long as it's like a verified thing that you ended up dating for a while, then leaving a review is so fun and funny. And like, that would be the first thing I look at. That would be the first thing I look at. I'd be like, or what are your exes saying about you? And I realize that that's tough, but wouldn't that change how you end things with people?
I mean, yeah, you would think your decency would spike a little bit, but also I don't want to give too much credit to some people out there because some people, it's just who they are. Rotten to the core.
I cannot. I'm happy for you, Anonymous. Thanks for writing in. You're going to leave. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
If that's not clear, we're done. And if this is the push you needed, I'm glad you got it. And you need to
give yourself a treat at the end when you leave and everything's settled. Get a breakup cake. I don't know. Honestly, I saw that coming.
I dropped it.
She dropped her lip gloss, her little fidget.
Far.
Well, we're done. We've talked way too long.
Done.
I'm not going to get into my story. I'm going to save that for the next episode. But guys, I love that this is a safe place where you guys can come to us with all of this that you're carrying with you every single day. Be sure to email us your stories if you want this story, your story read on this podcast, because we live for the tea.
Yep. We love it.
Should you wrap it up with a dad joke, Taryn?
Yeah. Have you heard about the chocolate record player?
No.
The sound is pretty sweet. Do you get it?
That's really great.
I picked that one because you said you brought me a chocolate.
Oh my God, how convenient. Guys, if you made it to the dad joke, you know the drill. We love you the mostest. If you want your story read on this podcast, you have to email it to us.
adviceunsolicitedpod@gmail.com.
Thank you, Taryn.
Remember when I forgot last time we were recording? I really think my brain had like shut down.
Yeah, I think I did too. We love you so much and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.